Oh, yeah.
Becca had one too.
Oh.
It was messed up.
Yeah.
All right, are we ready to go?
I feel like you just like.
Taking pictures with her?
Yes.
Hulking.
The Dice Tower, episode 618.
Live from Gen Con 2019.
Welcome to the Dice Tower, a podcast about board games and card games, and especially all these people who play them. On today's show, we're live in Indianapolis for Gen Con 2019. We have announcements from several publishers. Jeff drops some live knowledge. We'll talk about what we've been able to play so far at the show, and Tom has a challenge for all of us. I'm Eric Summerer, and joining me now, the Zordon to our Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Tom Vassell.
Was that a Renegade reference?
No, just a giant floating head reference.
Ah, okay. Wait, what?
What? Hi, I'm Eric Summerer.
I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Suzanne Sheldon.
I'm Andy Hutchinson.
I'm Crystal Pisano.
And I'm Z Garcia. Welcome.
And Sam wishes he could be here, but we're glad to be here. And we're glad for all of you at home who are watching this live stream, and I hope that you have a good time. But for those who are here, when we do end our show later on tonight, stick around because we got some raffles to hand off to everybody. Our show here is sponsored by Stronghold Games and Indie Cards and Boards and Indie Game Alliance.
There you go.
Got it. All right. Mostly Stronghold, though. Well, they're the same company and so on. And that was actually an announcement last year. We're glad to be here, and we're glad all of you took some time to come out of your, where you could be in the exhibit hall fighting for games and stuff. We're glad to have you here. And I'm glad that everyone here decided to join me on stage. That was very nice of you to do so.
We all decided to join you on stage.
Yeah.
We had a choice.
We had a choice? I don't think so.
Well, if I made it a choice, I might be doing this by myself. It would be me and Jason probably doing it.
Yeah.
Alrighty,
an
so
entertaining show.
Gen Con, how many games have been released here? 444.
444 as of when we recorded the podcast a week ago, so they probably added another
Oh,
6
I've seen
or
at
so.
least several games. A Trapper Keeper game I didn't know about.
That was not
here.
announced
Yeah, that
before,
was on
yeah.
the list, I don't think.
Did you guys did you see that?
Yeah,
No, I
yeah.
didn't
For the
see
same
it.
people bringing us like the Kenny G game, right?
Oh, is that the Keeping It Saxy people?
That's
Yes.
the one.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
it's the
okay.
same group.
Same group?
Did you all have a Trapper Keeper when you were a
Heck
kid?
yeah.
I did, actually.
The Lisa Frank styled one is my absolute favorite. That is the Trapper Keeper game that I need in my life.
Is that the one with the unicorn?
Yes,
Yes,
it is.
colorful unicorns. It's very good.
I had G.I. Joe.
They didn't have G.I. Joe.
I
Trapper
know,
Keepers.
it wasn't an opportunity. All right, so what did you guys see that's interesting? Let's start with Z. What'd you see?
Okay. I'm going to talk about a game over at Tasty Minstrel Games called Old West Empresario. And this is in the same line as their Pioneers game. Even the covers look similar. And so you are in it building up a western town. You are going to be rolling a number of dice, setting them into place, and then drafting those. And when you take a die, you can either take some money, or you can take a tile and add it to your town, or you can take a die and activate the buildings that are already in place that trigger with that die face. And so you're building it up. At the end of a turn, once you've taken a few dice, you get to activate some faces for free because one die will be left over, and everybody gets to use that one to trigger things. And then you set out new tiles, you re-roll your dice and you go again. I really liked it. I'm not a big fan of city building or town building games normally. There's a couple I like. I like Quadropolis, and then this one was really neat. I found it to be just the way it's all put together is very simple, but I was presented with a lot of neat combos, opportunities for those moments. I ended up playing building up a town that where a lot of buildings would trigger on a 3, so I was waiting on them, and if they came up, I felt it was more advantageous just to take the die and trigger 4, 5, 6 buildings than take a new building. So I was really enjoying that. I think it's a neat game. I'm worried it's going to fly under the radar a little bit, and also the cover similarity concerns me slightly, but it's a fantastic town building game. That's Old West Empresario.
Did you say cow building game?
Cow building? No. Town building
Oh.
or tile building. One of those two things is what I
I would
said.
play a
Cows
cow.
come pre-constructed. You don't
Okay.
have to build them.
Yeah,
play it.
they're
I actually have a cow building game.
All right.
You have a pig building game, right? There is that.
No, I have a cow building game.
And a horse building game.
Suzanne, what did you see?
Nothing. I haven't seen anything at Gen Con.
All right, next up.
Did you just walk in?
No, literally, this Gen Con is overwhelming
It is.
for me. And I've been going a lot of places, but I have not sat down and played a single game, except for one that Eric is stealing from me. So.
Well, then say it. You're going before him.
Wow.
Wait, what?
Oh, I like this.
Actually, yes.
Okay. Quirky Circuits. Quirky Circuits
Wow.
from Plaid Hat Games. Got to play it, and I love it. So Quirky Circuits is a cross between a storybook game, a programming game, and the mind. Oh, I'm doing it, Eric.
Wait,
I'm
what?
doing it.
The mind?
Because what you have is you have these different scenarios, similar to Stuffed Fables, if you played Stuffed Fables, and you have this storybook, and it has different boards on it with different objectives or obstacles that you want to meet, and then you have these lovely little adorable minis, and then you get a hand of cards that have movement on them, similar to Robo Rally, with move forward 3, move forward 1, backwards, turn, all this other stuff. And then what you have to do is you work cooperatively as a team to try to achieve the objective on that individual game page in the book. And you do that by playing your programming cards. But it's cooperative, you're working as a team, and you cannot speak to each other. So you're literally trying to mind meld with your friends. It does show on the back of the card whether it's a move straight or a turn of some sort. So you have some hint of what it is, and you're mind melding, and you're like, oh, that dust bunny over there is 2 away. I have a move 2. I'm going to go ahead. So you're trying to play that card really, really fast to show that you're going to get there. And then your teammates have to figure out, did they get there? Did they not get there? What are they trying to do? And then play a card in sequence. So you can kind of try and jab in there. If you have 2 cards in a row, you can get them down really, really fast. So you're trying to lay out a perfect program face down, then you flip them up and see where you end up. It's a little forgiving. If you misprogram, you don't go off the board, you don't lose points or things like that. It just, you lose a round, you turn, and then you're decrementing energy as you go. But it was really engaging, really clever. I can see playing this with my kids, but I had a great time doing it. The person who was showing me and we just mind melded. It was amazing. It was really fun.
I guess I'm really bothered, though, by this. It seems like there's this trend in gaming to shut people up at the table. In this game, you can't talk. In this game, no communication.
Well, I don't know if that's actually how the game plays or if that was just a special rule they made for me.
Ah!
So, yeah.
They do suggest that if you're moved to make a noise, you can say beep boop.
Beep boop.
So you can say beep boop with as much emotion as possible.
Show us, Eric, show us your most passionate beep boop.
Beep boop.
All
That
right.
says don't play another
So
card
that's
while I'm
Quirky
shuffling.
Circuits from Plaid Hat Games.
It's delightful.
All right, Eric.
Pick your own game, man.
Eric, your turn.
So I played Ship Shape, which Suzanne has been raving about for some time. This is a new one from Calliope Games and Rob Davio. You are a smuggler. You've got a 3x3 grid that is your hold. It's got rats pre-printed on it. You don't want rats. You want to cover up the rats. Though they're these tiles that are foam core. They're really light but thick. It's really cool. And they're in a big stack in the center of the table. And you have bidding cards, 1 through 10. Everybody plays a card face down. You flip them up. Highest is going to get the top tile from the stack, and the tiles have holes in them. So as you stack them in your cargo hold, you'll cover up some spaces, but leave others open. And at the end of 3 rounds, you look down from above, and those are the symbols that you're going to score. You can get gold, you can do cannons that you compare with your opponents, you can get contraband, which is worth points unless you have the most contraband, and then you get 0 for the round. But also, if you tie in the bidding, you're out of that bidding round. So there was one time I saw the 3rd in the stack. I wanted the 3rd tile down. I didn't want the top. And I played my 1 card thinking, I'm gonna lose this round and get the 3rd tile. Hooray. Except the other 2 people tied, and now I've won the round.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and I get the top tile I didn't want. It is light, for sure, both physically and gameplay-wise. but it has some interesting sort of aha moments and surprises, and I found it very interesting. It's Ship Shape from Calliope.
All right, how about another game? All right, Mandy. Did he take yours?
No, no,
Because then you can take Crystal's. We can do this.
Oh no,
Because I got like 10.
I haven't played a single thing since I've been here. I've been working. So I did see one though that was really cute. I don't remember the exact title of it. It was the Funko Pop game. I don't know if anyone else has seen
Funkoverse.
Funkoverse.
Yep.
That's it. So a few of those little collectible Funko Pops. Is that yours? Did I steal yours?
That's what Tom was going to talk about.
Not anymore.
I'm sorry.
Because I'm prepared.
Oh, you haven't. Well, maybe I don't want to talk about it anymore.
No, go ahead.
You know, I was like, okay, all right. So they have different types of worlds. So you have the Harry Potter world. They even have Golden Girls. They have, I think, Rick and Morty. But it's actually a miniatures game. So looking at it, I thought, ooh, okay, I don't know. It's gonna be Walmart. It's gonna be one of those games that's not interesting. It was actually really fun. I only got to play one little round of it, but in the game, you're trying to achieve like 6 points. So they have these little kind of gems that you're trying to acquire, and they're on the board. You're also trying to, I guess, attack your opponents, but it's more or less to kind of knock them out so you can get these shards. Or
That's
these.
what attacking is.
Well,
I'm not attacking you.
in a nice way. I mean, you don't want to be mean. I hate being mean in games. I'm sorry.
But how does this translate to the Golden Girls?
Because they're awesome.
They throw a cheesecake at you.
Are there shards showing up in the kitchen of the Golden Girls set?
Here's the fun thing. You can actually like mix the universes. So you could like legit have like DC comic verse and then Golden
Against
Girls.
Blanche.
Yes. Oh, so yes, and it's Rose and Blanche. I was really hoping for Dorothy and Sophia because they're a little more savage. I think that would definitely be the way to go. They're coming.
Yeah, but listen, it's better than that. You can give like Rose a batarang.
Yes. Oh yes, they can hold weapons. I forgot the best part. No, it is really cool. So if you haven't stopped by, you need to check it out. So basically, that's the idea of the game. It's like your miniatures game where you are trying to attack. You have some movement. They have special abilities for each character, and then weapons, which we just talked about, that you can use. And I like the fact that you can mix it up. You can do 2 versus 2, 2 against 1, 3 versus 3. Like there's a whole bunch of ways you can play it. So I didn't play all of it, but honestly, looks like a ton of fun. So that's the Funkoverse. Funkoverse. Yes.
All right, Crystal.
So I wandered by the Mercury Games booth and saw that they were demoing a game called Rail Pass. Rail Pass is a cooperative, real-time pick-up and deliver game. Real-time
Dexterity.
games, yeah, and dexterity as well. It's a lot of different things. In Rail Pass, you have between 2 and 6 players controlling 6 different cities that have train stations in them, and you have physical trains that need to move from city to city. You have cubes on your mat that match all of the other cities' colors and not your own, and you are trying to load the trains up with cubes and deliver them to the correct cities of the matching color. But you do this by taking the train off of your station and saying, toot toot, and giving it to the person next to you. And if you're passing it across the table, you might have to go into a tunnel that is on the table. So
Why
you're
do you
saying,
need to say toot toot?
you
To
have
let
to
them
say-
know a train's coming through the tunnel.
You have to let them know that the train is coming. Toot toot, every time.
Z, I'm making you play this. This is one of Z's favorite things in a game.
To
What?
say things you don't need to say in a game, yeah.
No, it's very important. You need to say it.
Yeah.
Very important. The game lasts a total of 10 minutes tops or less, depending on the number of players, and your score is based on the 2 cities that you got the fewest cubes. You multiply those 2 cities' totals together to get your final score. And the base game, you're looking for, I think, 100 points to win. So it's cooperative. You're all trying to help each other. You've got conductors that are in the little trains, and if the conductors go too far from their home city, they quit, and they are out of the game, and they will score you negative points at the end. If you drop any of the cubes out of a train, that cargo is lost. That's also negative points. So you're trying to very quickly pass things around, but also very delicately. It's really silly, and I didn't actually think I was going to like it that much, but I loved it and bought it immediately after I demoed it. So I enjoyed it quite a bit. That is Rail Pass from Mercury Games.
All right.
Are the Golden Girls in it?
I wish.
They're
Deliver me
represented
some
by little
cheesecake.
pegs.
Great. I got a chance to play QE again, and we took the bidding up to, I think, $53 quintillion.
Wait, what?
It's a game in which you print your own money, and you can bid any number you want. except whoever spent the most money over the course of the game loses. So I won, again, undefeated at this game, because I know how to spend money I don't have better than anyone else. Also, I messed around a little bit with the game Medium. This is from Greater Than Games. And I don't know if you've seen this one yet.
No, I
This
haven't
is like
seen
the
this one.
mind, where you and another person put 2 words on a table, and then you have 3 seconds, and you have to say a word that matches both words. And you need to say the same word as the other person because you have this mental connection. So far, I have never done it. Like, not even close to the word. So I'm pretty happy with the fact that I'm on a different wavelength than other folks.
Okay, that's something to be proud of, I guess.
I'm not a sheep, Eric. All right. Well, are we on schedule? We are almost. No, we're off schedule.
Yeah, we're off.
All right, well, we're going to have all these fine folks back up here later on, one of them sooner than others, but we're going to jump into some, like, smartness here.
Some smartness. Let's
Wow.
jump into some smartness.
Very eloquent.
That's
We
okay.
need some smartness up on stage.
All right, so thank
Yes.
you, Z, Crystal, Mandy, Suzanne. They'll be back a little bit later. And
right.
let's welcome Jeff Engelstein.
Hey, everybody.
I
This
think
is
you
like
can
when I
hold the
show up
mic,
at a party
Jeff.
and everybody else leaves. That's always exciting. So I want to, since we're Gen Con, I figure we'd start here by playing a game. Okay, this could be a lot of Roy next thing. There we go. Okay, next one, Roy.
Hey, Jeff.
There we go. Okay, so let's say we've got 3 simple rules. We've got cards numbered 1 through 9. We're going to alternate 2-player game taking cards. The first person to take 3 cards that add up to 15 is the winner. So for my first move, I'm going to take the 7. So what would be your counter move to this? Okay. So the thing about this game is that, although I heard some different answers and different strategies and things like that, is that you already know how to play this game. And what we can do is we can take these 9 cards and let's rearrange them a little bit. We're going to put them in a box like this. For those who didn't know, Matt, this is a magic square. So if we go to the next slide, you'll see that in this case, every row, every column, every diagonal adds up to 15. So in this case, picking 3 cards that add up to 15 is the exact same as playing tic-tac-toe, which you know how to play. So if I took the 7, you know that the correct response is to take the 5. In fact, the 7 is probably one of the worst moves I could possibly do. So this is called an isomorphism. It's 2 things that look different on the surface, but actually are the same. And as a designer, we're faced with this all the time. So for example, in the game Agricola, you are placing workers onto spaces in order to take those actions. But as a designer, I could just as easily have made it that I have to pick up cards off of the board instead of putting things down, and then nobody else can go there. It's exactly the same system. But they do feel different, and the interesting part from a designer perspective is that these kind of simple choices can actually lead you in many different directions. So as an example, if I'm just making that choice between do I put workers on a space or do I have the players pick up the cards, there's a bunch of games that treat that differently. So, you know, in the successor game, that's not actually Caverna. I take that back. That
Good,
is
I was gonna say something.
That is a Feast for Odin. I'm sorry. But on a Feast for Odin, because you're putting onto spaces, it opens up the possibility of having to put multiple workers onto a space. If you are picking up cards to take actions, it's going to be a much harder system to do that. If you're looking at Citadels, Citadels is basically kind of a card-based system now, and it allows you to have hidden information and things that you couldn't have if you're putting workers down onto the spaces. The next one we have up here is Race for the Galaxy. So Race for the Galaxy is another card-based system. And in this case, you know, if you just had all of those different options down there, Race for the Galaxy opens this idea of simultaneous selection, which would be much harder to do if you have a worker placement-based system as opposed to an action card selection system. And finally, Coimbra is sort of a combination of the two, where you're both, you know, drafting workers and you have spaces to place on those workers. And then lastly, Gentis, I think. So in Gentis, that's basically an action selection. You're pulling tiles off of a board that lets you take actions. And in this case, that gave the designer the capacity to make some really interesting mechanical things in terms of how if you haven't played it, when you take a tile, you have to take hourglasses and put the time on your track, and you can manipulate the time in different ways using different resources. If you were placing workers down onto fixed spaces, it would be a lot harder to implement that type of a system. So as a designer, you're making these changes, these decisions, and sometimes the decisions seem very minor, but each step that you take opens up 2 other possible steps. And one of the things that I really love as a designer is that for each time you go, all of a sudden you open up possibilities, and maybe you couldn't have gotten originally from A to Z, but if you go A, then B, then C, then D, you gradually get there. So if we go to the next one here, yeah. So this is building an arch. So for those who don't know how arches are built, most of the time they're built by building all of this scaffolding, and then you build the arch on top of that, and then you take away the scaffolding, and that leaves the arch behind. Now, when you're doing game design, you're building there's a lot of other steps, there's a lot of intermediate stuff that you have to do in order to get where you want to go. And sometimes, you go so far and you forget the scaffolding that got you there. But all I would recommend for those of you that are doing game design or are, doing really any creative endeavor is that if you get stuck, if you go back along those paths, sometimes you'll come to a choice where there was that isomorphic choice, where you chose that I'm going to put workers on the board instead of going to take cards off of the table. And that led you down one path, but if you backtrack, maybe going back to one of those earlier seemingly innocuous choices is going to send you in a totally different and interesting and creative direction. So that's it for this. Thank you very much, but before I go, I will, one more time. There we go. I'm going to plug my book.
Hey, isn't this like a #1 seller somewhere I saw on?
Yes, for reasons that I do not understand at all, my book, with Isaac Shalev, Building Blocks of Tabletop Game Design, which is an encyclopedia of a ton of different mechanisms for budding designers to incorporate in their games. This week is the #1 best-selling English language book on Amazon Japan. We just squeaked ahead.
Hey, it's good.
Thank you. Yeah. So, somehow we squeaked ahead of the very hungry caterpillar to seize the #1 spot. So, for all the listeners in Japan, thank you very much. So, thanks all.
Thank you, Jeff. All right, we have good news and bad news here. The good news, well, there's actually 2 pieces of good news. One is that we're going to have a bunch of publishers come up and show us their news. The other good news is, once again, I said at the beginning, but we want to really make this known, is that we're really thankful that Stronghold Games sponsored this particular show, the live show, and we're thankful for that. The bad news is, with Stronghold Games comes Stephen Buonocore, and what can you do?
Easier to fight this way? I don't know. Hello.
I'd prefer you to be as far away. So that's.
Welcome. How's it
Hello.
going, Stephen?
It's going amazingly well. How are you? Thank you for having me. Thank you for allowing us to sponsor the show, Tom. And this is about as nice as I'm going to get.
Wow.
So Roy,
I think you look quite charming today, and thank you for coming, kind friend.
did anybody come to the Rock and Rollin' Right event I threw last night?
That was quite the outfit you were wearing.
Yes,
I
so
do
some-
know you
so,
were
yes.
well decked out in a Elton Johnicore
I was
outfit?
Elton Johnicore. And,
Oh, I'm so glad I missed this.
I did some singing, and of course we played
Doubly glad.
like lots of roll and write games. It was great time. And now the videos are amazing. Look at them on Twitter. But I think that at this point, we should really define our relationship, Tom. We should show it to people so people understand that. So Roy, hit it.
This is the greatest day of my life. Your life sucks. That's perfect, right? Okay, I'm gonna use my right hand. Make sure I get it correct. Say something prophetic. Wow. That wasn't so bad.
So I had to actually look up what FTR meant. I guess I'm too
For
old.
the
For the
record.
record. Now I know. Thank you. Because the slide was not I was prepared
You're
for me.
old.
Yes, I must be old. So, for the record, Tom challenged me. That was last year. This was the one from last year after I beat him at Looping Louie, after I beat him at Geekway to the West, and then beat him at Dice Tower Con, and the pie occurred last year. But no, Tom could not be satisfied with that, so Roy.
I don't want to get on the hat though, right? Ready?
Tom, you're delicious.
I asked my wife to get better tasting stuff this year.
Greatest days of my life.
I like to point out, I like that actually a lot because I lost weight between those two. And it's because of you.
Because of me.
That pie took away my lust for pies.
No, I know
But
about
the
your
second
lust.
pie brought it back. Wait till you see me next year.
So,
Okay.
Is that the announcement for our show?
no, that was just talk about our relationship, Tom. That's all. You can continue with the slides.
I'm looking for new sponsors.
So this is just a little thing. So as you know, a year ago on the show, right, we announced the merger of Stronghold Games and Indie Boards and Cards, creating Indie Game Studios, and it is going amazingly well. So I promote both companies. So on the Indie Boards and Cards side, we have a new game coming out. It's actually coming out later this month, and it's called the Sherlock Files. And these are, you go out and investigate cases, and you're trying to see if you can be as good as Sherlock Holmes in that. And each one of the boxes is going to come with several cases. They're one-time shots, but you'll be able to play 3 different cases in that game. So you can have a little theme night or something like that. And at the Indie Boards and Cards booth, 2447, or at the Stronghold Games booth, 1919, you can come by and you can get a free playable demo deck for the Sherlock Files. So go home with a free game if you want to just stop in and ask for the demo deck, or they've been giving to people as they buy things. But if you just stop by and ask for one, we'll absolutely give you one in either 1919 or a 2447.
Cool.
And the announcement for that we brought here is something that we haven't talked about this anywhere else, is that we have a new big expansion for Flamme Rouge coming out in 2020. Flamme Rouge is our racing game. It's bike racing, like Tour de France, extremely thematic. It keeps going up and up in the rankings. It's just doing really well for us. And every time people play it, they're like, wow, I didn't think bicycle race would be so interesting. And it is. It really is amazing. This is going to be a big expansion where you can play a campaign game. You can do short campaigns or longer campaigns, tours, like Tour de France's. And it has specialty riders in it. It has new types of tracks in it with these roundabouts and things like that. A whole bunch of things on here. This is like brand new that there's not even any rules, so we literally just got the information on it. This should
Is
be
that on a typewriter?
That's what I
It's
was
like-
going to ask. How
looks-
old are you?
I did not create this. They gave this to me in a note document.
Oh, it's a telegraph.
It looks-
Put the board in the center of the table. Stop. Deal the cards. Stop.
Thank you, Tom Jr.
Welcome. Just thought I'd jump in here.
Eric's getting a bonus.
He's getting a bonus this year. So, with this is, this is an exciting game for us because we feel that this is going to be very expandable over time, and people who keep finding this game are really, really enjoying this game. I wish I had more information I could show you on it, but literally the game was pitched only a couple of months ago, and it's just in the beginning of artwork and stuff like that, so we only have a box top. I'd be remiss not to say Terraforming Mars because everybody wants to just hear it. There will be more interesting things coming, and that's about all I can say. Because we have a bunch of great ideas on what we're going to be doing with that, and I'm sure that Terraforming Mars just hit number 3 on Board Game Geek.
Oh,
that's pretty impressive.
3 ranked of all time, yeah. And even Tom likes that game, so
If
it's
everyone
got-
in this room gives it a 1, no.
Oh, come on! So
When do we see that Flamme Rouge expansion?
mid-2020, mid-2020.
Okay.
So I would say it'd probably be around this time. Could be Origins next year. We'll see how fast we can get on those bikes and go.
All right.
I don't know. Whatever. All right, that's all I got.
Well, thanks so much.
Thank you, Steve.
Good news and bad news. Good news, we got other companies coming. Bad news, Mr. Boniger will be back on our show later on. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Laura, if you're watching, I'm sorry. Okay, so our next one is Come On Games. And we have Mr. Eric Lang. Woo! It's a donut box. That really does look like a donut box.
Check this out.
It's Come On the Game.
Yeah. Remember last year we had it was wrapped up in a T-shirt. This year we're all.
So wait, this is a box that you've produced just for reveals like this.
That's right,
That's amazing.
because we love you.
Thank you.
I'm really curious what's in there.
Well, I think that's
Is
what
it
we're about to
donuts?
find
It's
out.
not cake. Or pie. Sorry,
I'm
Suze.
back on the pie wagon.
Hello.
Oh, welcome to the show, by the way, Eric.
Thank you, Tom.
This is the first time I've seen you actually during the con. It's a busy,
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
been
busy
busy.
show. Yeah, so you guys have made all sorts of announcements over the past few days. We saw Zombicide Second Edition.
And Cyberpunk.
Okay.
Cyberpunk surprise.
No, I-
It was announced. I didn't just spoil it.
No, I saw that this morning. I don't know anything actually about it.
And you won't now.
Oh, okay.
That's not this. That's not this spoiler.
Well, what's in there?
You want to know?
What's in the box?
I want to know.
Sure.
Nothing. No.
Pie. Susan comes up and gets it.
Yeah, she would come out.
So I've been talking about this game for quite a while on Twitter and social media. You guys know 2014 I made Blood Rage, and in 2016, 2017 I made Rising Sun. I've been working on the third game in that series, and we figured we'd come by here and show it to you guys first.
You told me you wouldn't do that.
He lied.
Surprise.
He lies.
That's what I wanted.
So I'm just going to show you a box. I'm going to open this. I'm so smooth. There we are.
Ooh, I saw it first.
There we go.
Ankh, Gods of Egypt.
Gods of Egypt. That's right. That's game number 3. I've been waiting to talk about this one for about a year and a half.
Well, I'm excited. So I'm assuming there's going to be miniatures in it.
Nope. Of course there's miniatures in it.
That's the difference.
You want to see a miniature? Yeah. All right. Like the three of you in front there are actually going to be able to see this from this distance. So I'm going to tell you a little story. So I've actually been working on this. I was working on this game almost in parallel with Rising Sun, because in the middle of Rising Sun, as happens, you get like cool ideas to work on other games. And I was like, there was a period where I wasn't sure whether this one or Rising Sun was going to come out first. Rising Sun ended up being developed, developing faster, so I did that one first, and then I came back, redesigned this a bunch of times. This players are actually playing the Gods of Egypt, which is why it's called Ankh Gods of Egypt. You are playing the gods during a period where ancient Egypt was going from polytheism to monotheism, and you are indirectly controlling the world and trying to collect followers and gain devotion to stay relevant until one by one gods are forgotten and you want to be the last one standing. The game is very streamlined. It's a little bit of a twist from Rising Sun Blood Rage. It still has gods and monsters and cool minis. But other than that, we're going in a slightly different direction, trying a couple of new things. We didn't just want to repeat Rising Sun Part 2. There's some new stuff in this. I'm going to show you. This is not going to see that very well detailed. There's a little mummy.
Ooh,
Hello, I'm a
mummies.
mummy. Trust me, it looks really cool. Right. There's a little warrior of Osiris. These are resins, so I'm not letting Tom touch them. They're
When have I broken? Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's right. So you get to control those guys, of course, run them around the map. But this is you.
Whoa!
Wait, that's you?
That's you.
That's me.
That's you, sir.
Who is that?
Who's that? That's Osiris.
Oh,
So
cool.
you get to play. You all get to play these giant, huge, oversized gods that are going to be summoning monsters and warriors across the map. I'm not going to spoil too much in terms of mechanics. We'll reveal slowly but surely over time. Come on, you know how we do this. This is probably this is probably the most difficult game of the trilogy that I designed. I've redesigned it completely twice. Once after Rising Sun turned out the way it was, and once after I panicked and was like, this is not as good as Blood Rage, so I redid it again. Now it is different, and I wanted to make sure that it would earn a place on your shelf alongside Blood Rage and Rising Sun. Is a very different experience.
All right. You get to be the big character controlling the small ones as opposed to the small ones controlling the big ones.
And the world itself, that's right.
All right.
We got a timeline on this?
Yes.
I apologize. Can you tell us the timeline?
No. It is art by Adrian Smith, which is why, of course, why the cover looks so awesome. Miniatures by Studio McVeigh. It's literally the band coming back together to do this third one. We will be doing a Kickstarter in the future as opposed to in the past.
Good.
I can't tell you exactly when because we don't want to make any announcements until we're 100% sure ducks are in a row. The game is still in development. We're just tightening up things, but like with the other two games, take a long time. It's ready when it's ready.
Well, I look forward to seeing it. Thanks so much for showing it to us.
Oh, my pleasure.
Are the miniatures going to be at the booth?
Yes, as soon as we embargoed them until with this announcement, and you come by the CMON booth at number, what number are we?
Oh, I have it.
There's a big banner. It's easy to see, right?
So we will, the box will
417.
be unleashed, and we actually will show a bunch of minis from the core box in there. They are done and ready to go.
All right, well, thanks so much.
Thank
I'm
you,
really
Eric.
pumped about this.
Thank
Woo!
you.
All righty, well, thank you, Eric, for coming on the show.
Thank
At
you.
this
Thank
point.
you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for lying to me.
And you got to surprise. You didn't see this.
I did not. All right, this time we have Renegade games coming. Oh, no. Pandasaurus games, sorry.
You jumped ahead like 5 slots.
I was reading the wrong
Okay.
script.
Thanks, everyone.
Hello and
Alrighty.
welcome.
Welcome to the show.
How's it going?
Hello.
I know this game. That one.
You know that one?
I do. I played it.
Good.
Oh, here, introduce yourself to the folks here.
I'm Molly from Pandasaurus Games,
I'm Nathan. I'm also
We're,
from Pandasaurus Games.
co-owners.
Yep.
And they have a lot of cool new games here. We Machikoro Legacy.
Yep.
Mental
and
Blocks.
Mental
Blocks, Pastali.
Pastali. Yep.
Is it Pastali? I've been wondering. Is it
Yes.
Pastali
Like
or
past-
Pastali?
You tally the passes.
Right.
Pass tally.
So Pastali.
Got it.
I don't actually know that that's true, but I just say it with confidence.
Pass plus tally.
I don't care. I'm just.
You're the authority here, so.
Sure.
All right. So what do you got for us here?
All right. Are we?
Got a couple things.
Yeah. All right. First off, like Tom mentioned, Silver and Gold. This is the latest game from Phil Walker Harding, of course, Sushi Go and Baron Park. It is also the latest game from NSB, our friends at NSB, who brought the Mind and the game. So it's a flip
And
and
Illusion,
write.
which
Sorry.
Tom likes.
And
Illusion.
Oh,
Illusion.
I really like
yeah.
Silver and Gold.
It's
And
clever.
Illusion. So yeah, as Tom mentioned, there is a little bit of heat on this game already. We're super excited. It is a flip and write that you can write on and also just rub off. It's really exciting, and you probably like it because it's deeply disturbingly addictive. Is the way I would probably.
I would not have used those
Sorry.
terms, but all right.
Addicted.
I think I literally have thought about this in my sleep. I'm not kidding. Like I woke up wanting to play Silver and Gold again. It's creepy.
Yep.
Just saying.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Sure.
a reasonable quote then.
Yeah, and what's really neat is it's like 100 and something cards, and all of the cards are dry erase cards, so you can like write on every single card in the game and erase it. It's really cool.
Yeah. It has a pirate theme. You're trying to
Yep.
find treasure.
Trying to find buried treasure. It's super simple. It's like a less than 2-minute teach and
Yep.
plays in like 20.
It's a $20 SRP. This is going to be out in November. You guys are definitely going to
Yep.
want to experience the disturbing addiction yourself.
Yeah. For me, easily in my top 5 roll and write games. I really
Awesome.
like it.
Yep.
Or flip and write.
Yeah, what's the difference?
No one knows. Well, actually, I do know. There's
Yeah,
dice
there's
and
there's
cards.
flipping.
There is a
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
Although dice kind of flip.
They can flip. You can flip dice.
Yeah.
Flipping dice.
You can't roll a card.
Inception.
No, you can't roll a card. Unless you bend
The
it.
slide
try.
changed.
Oh, it did. I think we're going too slow. So this is Wayfinders. This is an Essen release for us. I think this is the first time we're showing anything about it. This is from, I'm going to butcher this even though Mandy helped me, Thomas
Dagenet.
L'Esperance. He designed Decrypto, so that's what you should know him for because Decrypto's great. And if you don't have Decrypto, you should. This is a family weight kind of entryway kind of worker placement game and island hopping game. So you're all explorers in the early days of aviation. And you're going to get to find different sorts of islands. Some of them are Arctic, some of them are desert islands. It's got variable setups, so every time you play the game, it's completely different. And it's got a whole lot of cool plastic stuff. Molded plastic planes, all of the goods discs, instead of just being discs, have silk screen transferring on them, so it looks really nice. This is coming out at Essen. It's $40. Plays in about 45 minutes, 2 to 4 players, and you can actually play it at our booth today at 5 o'clock.
Both of these guys, actually.
Yeah, both of them you can play at 5 o'clock today. And actually, that's a full copy. So, Tom, you can take that.
Sorry, Eric.
Sorry, Eric.
That's fine.
I'm sorry, Eric.
He was
I'll
going
wait
to take it
until
anyway.
Oh. I touched it.
I really like that. So they have mental blocks at their booth, and if you go get that, and you should, we have a promo at our booth too, so you can come just get that for free.
Yeah, it's free to pick up, and it's got 2 puzzles on it, which is a lot because the game comes with 60, so 2 more is some percentage.
I'm working on it. I think it's
I'm not even
3%.
working on it.
All righty, well, thank you guys very much.
I think we have one more thing.
Sorry.
What?
So we're not saying much about this. You'll find out more in October. It's called Godspeed. I think the only thing we're going to say is that the space race was a lie. It's alternate history, 1960s. If you'll notice, there's a little hammer and sickle on that guy's suit, so he is not an American astronaut. And pay attention in early October.
Yep.
Okay.
Can you tell us who the designer is?
It's new designers. It's Clayton Hargrave and Adam. What is Adam's last name? Hill? Hill. I'm going with Hill. Adam, if you're in the audience, wave your hand.
It's so new you don't even know who's designing it.
Yes. Well, we call them Adam and Clayton, and then you want last names. I don't know last names.
So you're going to be releasing more information on this as time goes by?
Yep.
Yep.
And John Gilmore, who's our head of game development, did all the dev work on this. Like, this game is so good, we were going to publish it when it was called Alpacalypse at one point in life. It was about alpacas after the apocalypse, which is funny for exactly as long as y'all laughed. And then you're playing an entire game about it, and it's dumb. So we've rethemed it and reworked it, but the game is good enough that we were going to publish it anyway.
Yeah, it's a brilliant game. We're incredibly excited.
All right.
Cool.
All right, well, thank you guys very much for coming on and giving me a game. All right, at this time we're going to have come up here is Travis Oates, who's with the company Above Board. Now, back in, when was it? Was it March or April? I don't remember what the...
April, I believe.
April, I went on a secret mission out to California.
That's right.
And recorded with Above Board. Actually, I posted a video of my experiences there on our YouTube channel.
Didn't stay secret very long there, Tom.
Yeah, well, you know me. I had permission to do that. So just everyone here, what is Above Board?
So Above Board is the closest show that I can think of that it's like is if you've seen the show Top Gear. It's kind of like Top Gear, but instead of cars, it's role-playing games, tabletop games, and D&D, that kind of thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I'm a little biased, obviously, because I'm on the show for a few short segments.
Yeah.
They bring me on as a quote-unquote expert, so take that as it will.
Do they actually say quote unquote when they bring you on?
No. In fact, we really talk him up like he's the smartest guy in the world of board gaming.
Why would you do that?
It was in his contract. Yeah. So.
It was not, but it is for future ones. So anyway, this is really cool. We met them last year at Essen. They were there recording.
Filming, yeah.
So there's a lot of little skits. I've seen a lot of it. We can't show a lot of it, but we can show you one. We'll just show you a sample skit from the thing that we have here.
And this is the first. This is the first thing that we have shown that's going out on the interwebs. So you are the first people to see outside of production, and so yeah.
We got to build up for this, or
yeah. So this actually is a segment from episode 6, which is our Essen show. which is a 2-hour Essen show. And I'm talking with the intern whose name is Curtis. And the reason I'm a little surprised that he's doing the bit is he's the intern. He doesn't normally do bits on the show. So the rest is, I think, self-explanatory. Okay, since we have a little downtime and Leaf's not around, let's take in a quick fix, shall we? Curtis, why are you doing a quick fix?
Well, I'm the only one here. Everyone else is at Spiel.
It's pronounced Spiel.
Okay.
Go ahead, what do you got for me?
All right, I got 5 games that are hard to pronounce.
Okay.
First up, Dasta Ridley Die Wrigglebliss.
That's Dastardly Dirigibles.
Right, what you said. This steampunk card game is all about building the best it's all about who can build the best blimp.
Okay. It's going to be a long segment.
Second is Gun Kim. Oh no!
That's Gun Kimono.
Well, that's easy for you to say.
Yeah.
This tile placement game from Renegade is all about a weapons race in feudal Japan. You take the role of a daimyo. Daimyo. And building up their forces and gaining victory points.
That wasn't even close. Go on.
Next is Yun Gligla.
Junglila.
If you say so. You play an explorer moving through the jungle.
Nope.
Looking for the lost city of gold. You roll dice and play cards, vying to be the first to find Juglila. Jangly, googly boogly loo.
Junglila.
Right.
This is going very well.
Is it?
No.
Number 4, Lumina Fidei.
That's it.
Really?
No. Lumen Fidei.
This expansion to the game Time Stories takes place in...
Stories. All right, Time Stories.
This expansion to the game Time Stories takes place in 1419 in the middle of medieval Spain. It's a story of religious conflict between the Christians and the Moors with a supernatural twist. I'm not sure why it's called Lumen Fidei. Laminal Fordo. Lemon Fido, this one.
Lumen Fidei means the light of faith.
Well, there you go. Last we have Flammi Rahuga.
Nailed it.
Really?
Yeah, sure.
Well, this is a bicycle racing game where you have to use careful card play to maneuver your cyclist to the finish line without becoming exhausted and falling behind. Flammi Rahuga.
Way to bring it home. Curtis Vizzalalali.
You know, Travis, I feel your pain.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like that was a very pointed skit. And I feel like what he did was okay.
Yes. Yes. We were actually watching, I believe the writers were watching Dice Tower when they came up with that.
It's nice to know what you wrought, huh?
Right, so there's a lot of little skits like that, but also in between, then they actually talk about games and shows there's really cool shots of the games.
Yeah, we don't review games, but when we feature them, we have a giant robotic arm. It's about a 6-ton piece of equipment that films games like you've never seen it before. We don't use any CGI tricks or anything like that, but we film the game like you would film a movie. So the game looks amazing and in 4K, like this close up to the pieces, and it really looks great.
So we'll announce on our show when this is, we have news on where this goes. The shows are done, they're recorded, so now you're just shopping
First
it around
6 are
stuff.
done, yep.
So I'm excited about this.
Yeah, and if you see me at the con, you have any questions, just come on up, and I'd be happy to talk with you. And even I'm carrying around an iPad. I'm even showing stuff to people, and so yeah.
Extra secret clips.
Extra secret clips. That's right.
Well, thank you very much, Travis, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Episodes, everybody.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right. Hey, we're back on schedule.
More or less.
All righty, now we have Arcane Wonders with Tony and a cube.
That's an interestingly shaped box.
Yeah, and this is actually the last thing I'm going to talk about.
Oh.
So we'll just stare at that while you talk about other things.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, oh, by the way, this is Tony from Arcane Wonders.
Hi.
So that's the last thing we're going to talk about. What's the first
so the first
thing?
thing we're going to talk about is just some of the pre-release games that Arcane Wonders has going on here at the show. The first is Architectura. It is a 2 to 4 player card game where people are acting as prominent architects in the city. This came from Essen last year, and we've been showing it off here at the show. We have a promotional playmat, and basically people have been having fun where when you play cards, you're playing them into the rows and the columns on the mat, and depending on what is played to the right of it, it affects the value of your own pieces. And so your cards will rotate and go up or down based on the total value of the building. The game is going to be $19.99, and the mat we're doing as a $10 promotional item at the show.
All right.
Okay. And next we're going to talk about Dragon Scales.
This is a Dice Tower Essentials game.
Yes, and the next 3 games we're talking about are all Dice Tower Essentials games.
What?
So, Dragon Scales is a 3 to 5 player game where you are all dastardly villains. Yeah.
Villains.
Villains.
You watched that last segment.
Villains, I did. That was hilarious. And you are all delving into the Dragon Lord Archerex's lair. Now, neither one of you could actually beat the dragon, nor could I, but working together, we might
Have you played this?
We might be able to take on the dragon. Or Eric could just run for the exit and leave us both to die.
Sounds like a plan.
Those are kind of different triggers of the game. You can either defeat the dragon, or you can go through and run for the exit and leave everyone behind and grab as much loot as you can on the trip. So, Dragon Scales is our first game designed by Richard Lanius. We are working on future games that utilize his designs, but this one is going to be the first one in the series. And Dragon Scales is a 3 to 5 player game where you are, man, there are a lot more people here than I thought there were going to be.
Don't give up, you can make it.
You can do it.
$49.99 MSRP, and you can get it at the Arcane Wonders booth as a pre-release here. Retail release is coming in mid-September.
Okay.
And the last but not least, we're going to talk about Foundations of Rome.
That's that box.
No, actually we're not.
Oh.
We're going to talk about Smartphone Inc.
Oh, yeah.
So, Smartphone Inc., if you have been following along, is an economic simulator by Cosmodrome. Cosmodrome is here at the show. They are running events of their games as well as Smartphone, so you can check it out. Smartphone Inc. is also available right now on Kickstarter. So if you are interested in backing it, is on Kickstarter. We do not have it for sale at the Arcane Wonders booth, however.
Yeah, I'm really excited. This one's a lot of people have been looking for to get. So
Yes.
This will bring a wide release, and everyone can get a copy.
Yeah, and Smartphone Inc. is an economic simulator where you are striving to bring the new smartphone technology to the world. So you are expanding to different areas. You are cultivating your technology to increase your overall value of your phone so that more customers have demand of it. And you're also selling to different customers based on the price that you end up valuing your phones. So it's a really tight mechanic. We're extremely happy to be working with Cosmodrome, and we had some great dinner with them last night where we took them out, talked a lot about smartphone, and it's just really one of those things that we are vying to do the most possible to help and assist with their Kickstarter, and then bring it in to the Dice Tower line, Essentials line after the Kickstarter is over early next year. So
Is it a straight reprint, or are you making changes to the Cosmodrome version?
So the beginning, the core game will be a straight reprint into retail. However, the unlocks from the Kickstarter itself will be sold as a different add-on expansion to retail.
Okay.
Everything except for the Kickstarter exclusives. So if you do want them as one bundled packaged item, it would be via the Kickstarter. Later, it will be 2 different separate saleable items. So.
All right, talk about the box.
The box. Okay, the box is Foundations of Rome. Foundations of Rome is designed by Emerson Matsuuchi.
Who you might know from Reef and Century.
Yes, and this is a city building game of epic proportions. So what we're gonna see here is in this box is going to have over 100 miniatures that are finely sculpted, awesome looking miniatures.
You seem to be anticipating a change.
Ah, there we go. That have all these different sculpts that are based off of Roman architecture. So you're going to see the Circus Maximus, you're going to see the Colosseum, you're going to see these big epic buildings as special buildings within the game, but you're going to also be building bakeries and parks and fountains that have these gorgeous Roman architecture in the different squares of the lot. So the game itself is a large-scale game where you are going to be purchasing lots of land that you are then going to be building these buildings upon. The lots themselves, as you purchase them from the different auction line, is going to create areas where only certain buildings will fit. So it becomes a puzzle where you are making sure that you can put the largest pieces that give you the most population and or currency in the spaces available. For a better look at it, what we have going on is at Hall C, there in the Arcane Wonders area, it's across from the Magic the Gathering booth, and it's right next to Pandasaurus and the Troll and Toad hanging sign you can see. You can run through full demos of the game. We also have had some events, but I believe they're all sold out. But we can run through full demos of the game. You can see and hold the 3D prototype type pieces. And also we are going to be giving away, you might have seen it on the coupon, but if you go to foundationsofrome.com, you can see kind of a brief overview of what we have going on at this time. And then afterwards, if you sign up, you'll get a free 2.5-inch statue, first player metal piece, if you pledge with the Kickstarter that is coming. So
yeah, this is a really streamlined game. It's been worked on for several years now.
Yes.
And Emerson, like I said, he did Reef and Century. If you like that style, that straightforward play, but with strategy, this is what this game is. It's really exciting.
Yeah, it does play in about an hour total time, despite the number of players. So yeah, Foundations of Rome, and that is the big one coming to Kickstarter coming this October.
Is that the size of the box?
This is the actual size of the box.
Wow.
So there are going to be trays that are player trays that come out that have the game's pieces preset for each player. So when you put the game away, you actually are setting up for the next game that you play, and there's no downtime in setup.
Does that fill an entire Calyx cube?
It's a.
All right, thanks for coming on, Tony. Ignore Eric's questions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys.
All right, this time we have
It's bigger than Tom's head.
Justin Jacobson from Restoration Games. Yay! Now,
And Rob W.
Oh, and Rob W. This is going to be a tough act to follow the last 2 years here.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we're not
We
gonna follow that.
affirmatively decided not to top ourselves.
Ah,
Oh,
so small
okay.
card game announcement.
Prepare for underwhelmment.
No, we're just not gonna do postcards
Did I
like
just
we
quote
did.
Tom? Is underwhelming
No
a word?
large
I don't know.
props is what you
No
said.
large props.
So last year you announced Return to Dark Tower.
Yeah.
And you're moving along. You're actually showing off demos of the current version of the game here, right?
So Epic describes the game and the journey of the prototype tower to get to Gen Con.
Yeah. It had to stay in New York for 28 hours after the thunderstorm, so it arrived last night at midnight.
Does it have its own seat on the plane?
Well,
Why are you asking these questions?
I'm curious. Anyway.
Anyway, we have Return to Dark Towers coming along. It involves probably 10 active people working on it in Iceland, England, Hong Kong, and several places in the United States to try to get this tower to be doing exactly what we want it to do.
Area 51.
Area 51. I'm very excited about where it is, and we're doing sort of pop-up play tests around the show floor, and I think we'll be doing play tests in our booth. And we are ready today to start talking about art, start to show some things like our logo, and there's the 4 characters that you can play in the base game, and that is the basically final art for the 4 characters. Justin's going to talk a little bit about the artist.
So we're very excited because one of the things we knew when we made the game is we didn't want to make a traditional fantasy setting. We wanted something that looked interesting and felt fresh. And we thought a good way to do that was to find an artist who had that visual appeal, but also wasn't necessarily someone who'd done a lot of like fantasy board games, for example. And we literally just happened upon an artist, I think it was our art director, Jason Taylor, who found her on Twitter on like #portfolio or day or whatever it is. And her name's Christina Kalita. She's a young Malaysian woman, and she has not worked in tabletop games before. She's done a lot of book covers. But we were really excited about, like I said, the fresh look that she brings to it. She uses a lot of textures, a lot of different shades and earth tones and golds and things like that. And so we decided to give her a try, and we gave her our character descriptions, and this is what we got back, and we were obviously knew we had made the right choice. So you can see there we have the brutal war leader, the let's see what order, the orphan scion, the spy master, and the relic hunter. So a little drop there, like those are characters you'll be able to play in the game, unlike the original game in Return to Dark Tower. You're going to be playing a character who's got a little different set of skills than the other people. So.
Neat. I want to be the brutal warlord.
Everybody wants
That's
to be
the first choice for everyone. Everyone looks at the characters like,
You gave him an
that guy.
adjective.
Yeah, that's true.
No,
That brutal.
He's not a warlord. He's brutal.
Yeah, people are cheap in his world.
Yeah.
What else do we have next?
So we have something else to announce, our new game. And if we're going to change the slide, we're ready to announce. No, I forgot with the tower design. We have put in a slide for that too. I apologize. So we were talking about the tower. This is some schematics of some of, you can just see sort of the technology that goes into it. It's literally 6 figures development into the tower, the team of engineers and designers, electrical engineers, mechanical engineers. The tower, so I guess we can talk a little bit about the tower. Sort of fundamentally, the premise was we wanted the tower to do something in the game and not just look pretty or
hold your phone.
Yeah, and the way I thought about it was after Rob came up with the idea was, what if a cube tower had a brain and was evil?
Yeah,
and could move.
That's where a lot of movies start.
Evil sentient cube tower?
Or if you think about that, like the puzzle box in Hellraiser or something, right? So
sounds wise.
That's
okay. Yeah. So the original game had things that turn inside, and there's a particular sound to it of motors, so we duplicated that. So it's a cube tower where there'll be drums that rotate, and there'll be cubes in it, and sometimes it'll go past an open doorway, and then everything falls out. And then at the end of each month, you'll tell your phone, hey, we're done with the month, and then the tower will glow for a minute, and then one of the other doors will just fall off, and more stuff may or may not fall out because it's talking to your phone with Bluetooth, and there's electromagnets, and a whole bunch of stuff is happening on the board. And there's glyphs that appear, and they glow, and you don't like those, and it's a bad scene, and you often die.
So your character could get crushed by a falling door.
Well, we're trying to avoid the falling door crushing, and there actually people spent hours today putting figures below the tower to see how often the characters got brained by the door. So
we have a video called Drop Test.
Yeah, Drop Test, which is just doors falling and how much it impacts the play that's on there. But yeah, when this thing rattles a little bit and it turns, and all of a sudden the door falls off, and then it vomits evil crystals into the world. Players react in the way that we hoped.
Spectacle.
So, but yeah, so what we're trying to do is not to do too deep of a dive, but there's like this experience triangle where the tower does something and you can't, and it's really important, and the electronic of the phone does something that, you know, you can't leave out. And then of course there's a game board and a game and all the pieces that's doing something. It's been great because the tower's been in London and the game's been in the United States for months. We've had to play test it without it and sort of simulate what it would do. So we made sure, like Isaac Childress and all the people working on it, that the game plays really well and we're not relying on the tower as some sort of gimmick. Right, around sort of a, you know, like, well, tower's cool, but the game, so we're putting a lot of work into it.
And if you're excited, who's excited about Return to Dark Tower? All right, that's
all right, thank you.
Thank you. If you're, so, you know, we're going to be this is really sort of the start as we ramp up to revealing more about the design and the gameplay and the art. And I know it's been a bit of a slow trickle so far, but we wanted to make sure we could pull off what we were trying to do, and I think we're pretty close. So if you follow along on social media and stuff, and I'm sure I'll be on with Tom at some point when we have some more to show and things like that. So we're excited to show you what we've been working on for the past 18 months.
That's really cool.
So what was the other slide?
So the other slide is our new game that we're announcing, Key to the Kingdom.
Hey!
So some of you may not know this game. We never know who's going to know what between ages and geography and things like that. This game was pretty big in England, for what it's worth. But it is a very cool little gimmick to it, and those are the kinds of games we like that have a cool little gimmick that we can leverage. For who here knows about Key to the Kingdom, the board, right? Raise your hand. All right, we got a few people. It has a hole in it. The board has a hole in it. And what it is, you're traveling around. Oh, they showed off the art. Okay, well, there's the art too.
We can just hang on the art for a bit.
Yeah, so that's a good image to show off there. Has a hole in it, and you're traveling around, and the holes represent portals. And when you go into a portal, the board actually folds over, and the world changes around you without moving your piece. So it's pretty cool, little gimmick. And of course, the original came with 2 portals, 2 boards, and like we do with everything, we have like 12 boards. And
yeah, there's a lot more moving world, and the idea is
it's like an origami project.
Yeah, and we've got it's these folding boards and portals, and the world changes, and there's mountains and there's ruins, and you've got to go on quests, and it's sort of like being poured into a fairy tale book, and we're literally leaning into it, like almost like turning the pages of the book as you play, and the world changes around you. And in the original game, you had to go in and steal the key and then get out before the Demon King caught you. It was just like a simple hunt and retrieve mission. This, you're finally going to put an end to the Demon King.
Should mention, the restoration was led by Matthew O'Malley and Ben Rossett, who did Between Two Cities, and just recently Homebrewers, I think, just came out.
They were the designers on this, and now we're doing the development on it and putting the final touches.
And so if you like the art,
pretty far
that's
along
the
then.
other big part. What's that?
This one's pretty far along then.
Pretty far along.
Yeah.
We don't have an exact release date yet, but it's pretty far along.
So one of the things that we were excited to do is, like Rob was saying, we wanted to really lean into that fairy tale aesthetic and find an artist who could match that. And if you like that art, you might recognize as an artist who's gotten some publicity recently. Andrew Bosley is the artist on this. He was the artist on Everdell, and he's actually here. Andrew, come on out.
Dice Tower award winning.
Yes.
Yes, thank you guys.
Hi, Andrew.
Hey.
It's good to see you. Yeah, so this art, what's your inspiration?
After getting, I wasn't familiar with Keys of the Kingdom until starting working on this project. So it was as I learned more about it and learned more about the design, and working with Jason Taylor, the art director, and the rest of the creative team, we started brainstorming kind of what this experience would be like, what the world behind it, what the fiction is, what this evil demon's doing, Demon King, but also playing around with what that style might be, what's the feel we want to get, something.
One of the cool things, like I said, there's these different sort of worlds that you are traveling through, and so we were trying to find a way to capture that in the art as the way the world is changing, but in some ways getting darker or more mysterious, or different lands or things like that. And so one of the first things we got was Andrew did a little sort of concept piece for us. And it's so funny when we work with these great artists, right? Or get some concept art. I was like, I would put this concept art up in a museum. Like the concept art you get back from some of these artists is amazing.
Well, it
And
looks really cool.
about the transitioning of these worlds, so.
It looks cool. Unfortunately, you guys have used up your time and more.
Yeah.
So
Sorry. We
thanks
get paid
for
by the
showing us
word.
this.
Very exciting.
Thank you, guys.
all.
Alrighty, well, our last publisher coming up is
Renegade.
Renegade Games. Yeah, sorry, I'm moving around here. Wait, what? What?
And Mandy Hutchinson.
She's back.
She's back. You promised that she'd be back.
I did say that.
Sooner rather than later.
Hi, Mandy.
Alrighty, Mandy, so what's up from Renegade?
Well, this is going to be short and sweet because they wanted it to be a little bit of a secret, but kind of tease you a touch. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. Your faces are telling me it might be a bad thing.
I don't know what it is.
I want to know. I want information.
Okay, here we go. So I made notes because I have a bad memory. So Renegade Rally is happening tonight. Has anybody heard about Renegade Rally? Yes. Oh, I see a few hands. This is fantastic. So it's tonight at 8 p.m. and we're going to be showcasing some awesome games. So it's happening in room 139 where, you know, the Terra Below worms are. I'm sure you've all seen this fantastic display. And you want to get there early because it's going to be insane. So we're going to be doing special announcements, which is normally people are expecting it here. We're going to be doing it at Renegade Rally. And this is, we're going to be looking at some previews of games and showcasing a lot of games that you have not seen in the hall. So some of the games we're going to be looking at: Paladins of the West Kingdom, Clip Cut Parks. I've played this. It is so fun. I don't know how much I'm allowed to talk about it.
I don't know.
But it's like a roll and write, but you get to clip things, and I think that's as much as I can say. But you need to come and try it out. Aquacorn Cove board game is another one.
I want to see that game.
It is so cute. It's great. I think you're really going to like it. And Gates of Delirium. So those are just some of the games that we're going to be showcasing and talking about tonight, as in addition to special announcements for other games that you haven't heard of yet. That's
So this is an announcement for an announcement.
It's an announcement for an announcement.
Alrighty. Well, thank you, Mandy.
Thank you so much.
Wait, don't go
Oh,
anywhere.
don't go.
You get to stay because you're on Eric's team.
Oh, we're together. Yay.
It's game time.
Oh, we're against Suzanne. You can, like, kill it this time.
Well, so
Just trying to stay on schedule. All right. Eric is here. Let's fill out the rest of his team for this game show. By the way, this team led by Eric Summer and Mandy. We also have...
Oh,
Are they coming?
I actually don't know who it is.
All righty, Mr. Bonacor is on Eric's team. I'm sorry, Eric, you lost the short straw.
Oh, no. You're on our team. You're on our team.
And all the way from California, one of the Murph brothers, Mike.
Mike Murphy.
He knows me.
Well, I mean,
It's a great team.
All righty.
Fantastic.
And your
team.
antagonist team we have, led by Z Garcia.
Oh, all right.
And Suzanne Sheldon. And Crystal Pisano. And the lesser known Murph Nick.
He's more recent, by 3 years.
That's right,
Help
baby.
me out here.
Secret weapon.
All right, we don't have a lot of time here, so we're just going to play a quick game. The winners are going to get this delicious. I found these laying around. This is some delicious food.
Those were donated by Stronghold Games. Actually, they were stolen by Tom Vassell from the Stronghold Games booth because Bill Bricker ratted you out to me.
My team is showing a lot of interest, so we're going to try.
We need to win.
Very hard to win.
The losers have to have a spoonful of the St. Elmo's cocktail sauce. Or
Let's
at least
do it.
one person on your team. One person on your team.
I will do it.
I got your back. I will also do it.
So if we lose, we have
Alrighty,
to
so,
drink that.
all right, so here's what we do. We're gonna do this as quickly as we can, and you can cheer for the team if you
Okay.
want. Don't forget, we'll
You're
do a
hungry.
raffle later on. But
It's real spicy.
this is a game show that we've done at Essen. It's the first time we've done it here. And so I put out a survey a week or so ago and asked some questions, and people responded to those. I think there was about 450 responses. And you're trying to guess the response people picked, but you don't want to guess the one with the most responses,
Why?
because then you give points to the other team.
Oh.
But I've mixed it up, not mixed it up a little, but I've narrowed it down. Now I'm just ranking them 10 to 1. So if you guess the third most guessed answer, for example, then you would get 8 points for your team. If you guess the first ranked answer, you give 10 points to the other.
Right.
So we're changing it, instead of giving 622 points, this gives the
Got
team
it.
that falls behind, Bonacor's team,
Plus it
a
makes the
chance
math
to
easier.
catch up.
I feel like you've stolen both my ideas now.
Uh-oh. I really
I've
have.
only ever had 2.
Hey, you work for Dice Tower, all that property is mine.
I know.
It is mine. A couple things here. These are answers people wrote, not answers that I am saying are good answers. I don't promote that these answers are proper answers. They're what you wrote. Did anyone here fill out the survey? Those
What did
people's
you guys
fault.
write Two down? people.
Did you really?
Yeah, of
I
course.
trust this guy right here.
No, I
trust
did
this
not.
guy.
I have no idea what these are.
Okay. All right, so we're going to start, and each team gets 4 answers. You can pick who goes first, and then we'll just switch each time.
Nick
Need a
Murphy.
pen to keep
You
track
first?
of-
All right, let's do it. Let's let
Mr.
it-
Mike, you're up.
Jason, can you keep the score for me here? Where is Jason? All right, yeah. All right, so we're going to start with Z's team here.
Okay.
The question is, what is the worst game to give a friend as a wedding gift?
Oh, God. That's a wedding gift? Oh, no, I can't.
You can talk. That's what the mics
Yeah,
are for.
man, come on,
I'm
let's
sorry. I was gonna
discuss
say
it.
something.
What was that game you and your brother featured?
Which one?
On that you were busting out the cards, the worst survival game ever, or the worst answer to every
worst
question.
case scenario.
What was that
Oh,
called?
worst case scenario. That won't be on this list, no.
Yes, it
Yes,
will.
dude. Are you? Yeah. Seriously, hey, have a long and happy life. Here you go. Worst case scenario game.
Z,
Yeah,
is that,
that's very
is
well-
that your pick?
Yeah, let's go with worst case scenario. Everyone who's played that game, yeah. Worst case scenario.
Pessimistic.
I don't think anyone picked that answer.
I picked it.
Yeah, you did.
All right, Suzanne.
I'm just giving mine.
Oh,
out
no,
right
that's right. We got bounced to their team. I'm sorry,
You get a
Eric.
chance, right?
Go ahead, Eric. What do you got?
Oh, I'm going to go first.
I think we're going to lose.
You know, I don't think I can avoid the number one answer. I'm just going to say diplomacy.
What?
That was a strong
But you're correct. That is the number one
It's the
answer.
number
So
one.
Z's team, 10 points.
We're winning.
We're
Oh,
ahead,
you have
10
one
points.
top. 10 points for
Yeah.
Z's team.
That makes me happy that it wasn't me. So anybody who
Hey,
watches
but
the
see,
episode,
here's the thing. This doesn't automatically give you the win at this point.
Oh, it does.
I think it does. Yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah,
All right.
it does, for sure. I'm leaving now.
All right, Suzanne, what do we got? What's the worst game to give a friend as a wedding gift? Diplomacy has already been chosen.
And that was the number one.
That was
So
number
I'm
one.
safe.
We're good. Anything you want to say?
I can, anything I want to say?
Anything.
You're
Anything.
beautiful.
There's no holds bar in this.
Whatever you want. It can't be worse than what I told Nick to say.
Accurate.
Yeah,
That's
right?
very accurate. Yes.
All
Thank
right,
you, Z.
all right, all right. Well, it's gamers, right? It's gamers.
Right.
So, life.
The game of life.
The game of life.
Yeah. Life just barely missed the list. Several people did vote
really?
for it, but no.
I feel like people would give it as a sappy kind of gift.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, it'd be like, oh, you're getting married.
Your parents give it to
Yeah.
you and they fill all the pegs with,
I get it.
this is what we expect.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry. Yeah,
All right, hey,
It's a
Eric,
family
your team has a
team.
chance. Mandy, what do we got?
oh, it's me. Hi.
Don't steal mine.
Oh,
You can say it.
no, you say it. I'm gonna do a different one.
But they're going to say it if you don't say it, so you might as well say it.
I'm gonna say Mega Civ.
That's a good one.
Wait, did you say Mega Civ?
Mega
Classic.
civilization.
That would be an awful gift to give, I think, but also no one said that
That's
at all.
unfortunate.
Sweet.
Okay.
We're
All right,
all
jumping over
really
to
good at this.
Crystal.
All right, well, in honor of Sam Healy, who is not here today, I'm going to say Blood Rage.
Yeah. yeah.
That's a good answer, but not on the list.
What is on this list?
Yo.
We've given
That's not
nothing
cool.
but perfect
That's
answers.
not cool.
Mr. Bonacore.
It's got to be Monopoly. Yeah, of course.
Monopoly was the number 2 answer.
Yeah.
Very nice.
We're in it.
Hey, it's getting close
We
again.
have 10 points. Calm down.
Rigged.
We have 9.
That's a 1 point difference. Nick.
I'm again?
He already went. It's
You're
me
gonna-
now.
You're gonna
Oh,
skip Z?
well, it was your idea.
I'll be happy. Yeah, it's true. You're right. You know what, Nick? You're up again.
Oh, gosh.
Well, how about Nick tells you what to say?
Right.
ahead.
Yes, you say, oh, gosh, I don't know. For a couple, love letter.
Nick is real single, so he doesn't know what's up.
Love letter?
Yeah.
That seems like a nice gift.
I don't know.
Can you
Love
play-
letter
I
is
don't
like a
like it. They
good
actually
gift.
make a wedding edition of it.
Yeah, the wedding edition of Love Letter.
We're trying to pick bad choices,
like it.
right? What's going on?
The worst.
I don't know.
How about like phase 10?
Yes, let's say phase 10 for Tom.
Yeah, phase like 10 to 25 years. Phase 10.
Not on the list. All right, Frank.
This game's going
man.
great, everybody.
I think j'accuse. Because I accuse you of leaving your laundry on the floor. You can like really get arguments. That's dangerous business.
I agree, but I don't think anyone plays that.
Come on,
game.
man. Skip, Bo. Come on.
All right, so here's the games you missed. Number 10, hate. Number 9, any solo game.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
Number 7, wait, where we had it? 10, 9, 8, 8. Battle of the Sexes. Number 7, Last Will. Number 6,
Okay.
Munchkin. Number 5, Divorce the Game. I didn't write the answers. Number 4, Cards Against Humanity. Number 3, Fog of Love. Then Monopoly and Diplomacy.
Fog of Love is all right. Yeah.
Fog of Love's a good
I
game.
didn't write the answers!
Well, we're still mad
All
at
of you
you.
wrote bad answers.
All right, jumping down to the next question. And this time we're going to start with Mandy. You get to go first. Isn't that exciting? All right. What animal would make the worst game opponent?
Oh, gosh.
I know the number 1.
I think so too.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right.
You don't want the number 1 answer.
Don't say it.
Okay, I won't.
What animal would make the worst game opponent? I might argue any, but
Okay.
Yeah.
dead air, talk, someone.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, we got it.
after careful discussion, I'm going to go with a raccoon.
Oh, a raccoon.
The mask,
Ooh,
it
that's
looks
a good one.
shady. Stuff's going down.
That is interesting, but not on the list.
What? The raccoon is definitely the traitor.
Right?
Raccoon.
Fair enough.
Raccoon.
All right,
Raccoon was a good answer.
Suzanne.
What if he's a
Go.
raccoon?
Suze, go.
I know what the number 1 is, so I'm not going to say it.
That's a
But
good
the
plan.
number 2 is a fox. You don't want to play against a clever fox, right?
Good answer. Good answer.
That's a good guess, but no, also not on the list at all.
What's going on? There's only like 12 animals left.
This is why you lose in fauna.
I know.
Let's see how many we can guess without getting any
All right.
correct.
Yeah, right.
Mr. Bonacor.
I'm gonna go with the dog because he's gonna eat all the components, so it's not a good idea.
You know, that does make a lot of sense. So, Crystal.
Seriously?
All right, well, I'm going to go with a cat because they're just going to curl up in the box and not pay attention to the game.
And just knock stuff off the table.
Yeah,
I don't
they'll
disagree.
Always
knock
knocking
the
stuff
pieces
off.
off.
And neither did people. You get 7 points. That was the number
There we
4
go.
answer.
Well done.
We're winning, I think.
All right, Mike, what do we got?
Okay. Sloth. The game will never end.
That's number 1. That's number 1. Thank you for the 10
If
points.
he's dealing cards, forget it.
We're
That
getting
is
those
the
points.
number 1 answer. 10 points.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, baby.
Got your
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
Hey, it's all open, Nick. Say whatever you want.
Me?
Well, actually,
Okay.
wait. Coming from past shows that
Oh, no,
we've
I
done
got
here,
mine.
don't say
That's a
whatever
good one,
you
though.
want.
That's a good one. Tell us
What do you got?
I'm going woodpecker.
Oh, super annoying.
They're destroying all the wood bits. They're landing on your shoulder, pecking you in the head. It would be horrible. Woodpecker. Number 2 answer. Thank you. 9 points.
Woodpecker versus a Haba game?
That's close, but no.
Eric.
It's not on there at all?
It's not on there at all.
Why did you all?
I don't know.
What is happening? Eric, I don't.
I'll go with gorilla.
Sore loser.
No.
No.
All right, Z, here's your last chance.
I'm going to go with human, the most dangerous of all animals. It's people!
No, that's a good answer. That's a good
destructive.
answer. But it's also not on the list.
What's going
All
on?
right, so here's what is on the list. Here's what you missed. Snail. You went with sloth. Slug.
So it's
A lot of people voted for shark. I'm not sure why.
Because you don't want your components getting wet,
Yeah.
obviously.
Porcupine.
Which one?
Porcupine.
Oh, yeah, that's dangerous.
That's fine. They're
Honey
nice.
badger.
Because he don't care.
But
He
they
don't care.
never lie.
He just don't care about
I mean,
anything.
Elephant.
okay.
Okay.
Monkey, which is not a gorilla.
That's fair. That's true.
Snake. A lot of people. Octopus.
Oh, yeah.
Skunk.
Oh, that's
The
exciting.
number
Make
two,
great
the number
pets.
two, the cheetah.
Oh, come on.
Everyone who filled the survey, get out.
I feel like
Wow.
you want to play with the cheetah. It's like the opposite
I
of
was
the sloth.
surprised that there was that many puns, but hey, go figure.
That's
All right.
great. The cheetah's a
I
good
get
one.
it.
I'll give you
I
that.
missed the pun.
Wordplay.
Woodpecker.
All right.
Audience is
Woodpecker.
too smart for
I
this.
wouldn't say
Really?
it's the-
Eric, your team. Oh no. Actually, Jason, what are the scores?
Thank you, Z. The scores currently are Team Eric, or Team EMSM, going across, is 9 points, and Team ZSCN, 27 points.
Wow, not even close.
We sound like a sports network.
Thank you for giving
It
the
sounds like a
teams names,
Myers-Briggs
Jason.
test.
Sound
All
like a
right.
YouTube video.
So
Yeah,
we're
it's good.
starting over with Crystal this time. You get to go first here. What's the most annoying thing to have stop working?
The most annoying thing to have stop working.
That's right.
We gotta avoid number one.
Yeah.
It's gotta be
We
number
know
You
what
do
number
want to
one-
avoid number one.
You know what number one is.
You know what? I'm gonna channel my inner Eric Summerer here, and I'm gonna say your refrigerator.
Refrigerator's on the list. It's the number 9, 2 points.
Good answer. Good answer. Good
Good,
answer.
good.
All right, Mr. Bonagor.
Well, if we're going with major appliances here,
I didn't say that.
we're going to go with the washing machine.
No.
Because you don't wash your clothes enough. Okay.
All right.
No, you send yours out. All right, Nick.
I have two, but I think both could be number one. And so
No,
I'm
only
worried.
one of
I know
them
what
will do
number
it. Huh? That's math.
You want to? How about I take one? You want me to take one and you can think about it?
Okay, I'm gonna go computer.
That's a no. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Computer?
Yeah.
All right, that's on the list, just above refrigerator. It's worth 3 points.
Points are points, man.
Thank
We're
you.
no longer
Thank you.
shooting the moon. We have to actually earn points.
All right,
now.
Mike. Well, don't look at me.
I want to connect with you on this because check
Okay.
it out. A toilet, because then you got two problems. One
It's
answer.
true.
Well, we're going up the list one at a time. Toilet's worth 4 points. All right, Z.
I'm gonna go with your heart.
Wow. That
Very,
got-
very true.
That escalated
And we
quickly.
continue to go up the list. That's 5 points.
A lot of people value their phone over their heart, it seems.
Eric.
I feel like I need to channel my inner Eric Summerer and say air conditioner.
Yeah.
No joke. Continuing to go up the list. That's 6 points.
That
is awesome.
This is amazing. Mind meld.
Suzanne, you cannot mess this up now.
Do not mess this up.
Or what?
Nothing happens, but
yeah.
don't
Score
mess
us
it
some
up.
more points if you're gonna mess it up. How about that?
I know what number one is again.
We're
I'm
all
not gonna say
pretty
number
sure,
one.
yeah.
We all know number one.
Because the
right?
world is
So I'll-
ridiculous, and
I'll
this is
go for
above
number
your heart. Yeah.
Your car, your vehicle.
Your car, the vehicle, that is the number 1 answer.
Oh.
What? I feel like that should be the number 1 answer, right?
No!
Your phone is number one.
I didn't write it. No, car is number 1. 10 points.
Maybe if
Liar,
you walked
that's
more, you
great.
wouldn't have to worry about your heart. You know? One helps the other.
All right, Mandy.
Well, I had a really good answer, and then Z kind of stole my thunder with heart. I was going to say your brain, but I've decided to now instead go with your phone.
Yeah.
All right.
For 9 points.
Yeah.
Phone is the number 3 answer with 8 points.
Something else above the phone?
So what did we miss? Only a few, actually.
Yeah.
Number 10 was water, if your water stops working. And then above air conditioning was electricity.
Okay.
Oh, your power.
And then the number 2 answer is the internet.
Yeah, Wi-Fi. Yeah.
All right. All right. Let's jump into something serious here.
Okay.
What out-of-print board game should be reprinted?
Oh, this is bad.
Oh, man.
I don't know what's out of. Am I first? Oh gosh.
Key to the kingdom.
I've already done them all.
Your wish is granted.
I don't care who goes first, but it's on which team? I don't even remember now. Who's losing, Jason?
Us now.
Oh.
No, yeah, you could just point to the team.
Currently, we have a tie at 37 points.
It's like we planned this.
I think it's our turn to go first, I think.
Sure, go for it.
All right, Mike.
The A-Team board game. Bring back the show, the game will lead to the show, all of it. A-Team.
Are you just making things up, or?
Come on, man.
Is that your answer?
Yeah.
Okay, good. But
I don't even
no.
know current board games. What makes you think I know old board games, man?
Watch their show. All right.
That's right.
That jumps over to you, Nick.
I would have said Target, but it's back in print.
Again, these may or may not be correct answers. You know. based on
Oh,
what-
so. What's that?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go with Omega Virus.
Yeah.
That's a good choice. Good choice, but no.
All right.
What was Nick's answer?
Omega Virus.
Omega Virus.
The wilderness survival game.
All right, Eric. What do we got?
I'm gonna go with, even though there's supposedly one announced, I'm gonna go with Doom.
That's a good answer. It's
How
on the
good?
list. 3 points.
Okay.
All right.
I think it's actually here, isn't it?
Yes.
Not announced, but done.
There you go.
It was still on the list.
All right, I'm gonna. Knowing the ravenous nature of gamers, I'm gonna go with Wingspan.
Gotta hope that's right.
Some people did pick that actually, but it's not on the list.
All right.
All right.
Do you have any? You said you had one.
I guess it all depends what I ask this question.
Oh, it's me?
Any given week, that could be the number one answer.
I got nothing. All the games that I want are back.
Is that
in
your
print.
answer? Nothing?
No, it's not nothing. Although
Nothing
the
the
answer
board
I'm going to
game?
give you is pretty close to nothing, but I'm going to say Nightmare.
Oh, Nightmare. Okay. Suzanne.
All right. I'll say Thunder Road.
Man, I do wish they would reprint that.
But nobody else
That'd be
knows
great.
the name.
Nobody else said it. You guys aren't good
Y'all
at
are
this.
too young.
Bad at this game, if you haven't noticed.
All right, so now to the person who started his company based on reprinting games
I did.
and then shelved that really fast.
We are doing 2 this year reprints. Oh. So I'll name one of those since Dune was on the list and it's actually out already. I'll say D-Mocker.
Oh, that is a good answer, but it's not on the list.
And it's not on the list.
Hilarious.
All right, I'm gonna take a risk here because I know it's one that is never coming back and people wish it would. So that would be Star Wars Queen's Gambit.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is on the list.
Oh, don't tell me, Tom. Don't tell me.
In the number one spot. All right, the other ones that were mentioned: Chaos in the Old World, Macau,
that's a good one.
Dune, what Eric said, Heroescape, Hero Quest, Bruges, Battlestar Galactica, Forbidden Stars, and Glory to Rome.
Glory to Rome.
I don't know. I thought I had like
We are
4 games
so
on
bad
here.
at this.
We are all.
All right, let's get
We're
all.
super off today.
Yeah.
We got time? We'll do one more. Here we go. How long is too long to wait for a response from your text? So you text somebody, how long is too long for them to respond back?
Oh God. There's 10 different time lengths.
I think you guys get this first.
Oh, good.
It's on you,
And this is what people wrote. I'm
Yeah,
sure
so
there's
you're
no,
first.
I don't know what the etiquette is.
You go the safe like an
I don't
hour.
respond normally.
How long is too long to wait for a text response? How long does it take to eat a burrito approximately?
It depends on where the burrito's
I mean,
from.
if you're really enjoying it, like taking your time,
Yeah,
10
like
minutes,
what is in the burrito?
26 seconds.
a steak burrito,
If
like
I'm
the
hungry
good
and
stuff.
it's going straight, yeah.
I'm gonna go with 10 minutes,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
Sure, if you're an amateur.
Burrito time.
Yeah.
10 minutes,
That's, yeah, burrito time.
not on the list.
What?
This
Is the word burrito anywhere on the answers list?
It is not even close.
All right, fine.
Wow. I guess I'm one that I'm bad. I sometimes don't answer right away because I'm busy doing stuff and I know I'm going to get to it eventually. I'll say that 4 hours is too long.
That is on the list.
What?
It's the number 10 answer. 1
Wow.
point.
All right.
1 point.
Hey, a point's a point.
Take it. Take it.
Yay, thank you for the polite applause.
4 hours?
Wait.
I've already called you like 6 times and had several tacos at that point. Crazy. 4 hours. No.
Depends on what it's about.
Send you a telegram at that rate.
Yeah, right? Like, oh my God.
All right, Suzanne.
All right, 15 minutes.
That's close to 10
so
minutes.
Random. I just
Also
texted
on
you,
the
by the way,
list.
so we'll see how long it takes you to
That is
answer
on the
me.
list?
It is 15 minutes, better than 10.
People are slow eaters.
3 points. 3
All right.
points.
All right, good. We're on it. We're on
Take
it.
it. I'll take it. Wow.
All right, Mandy.
How long is it? Too long?
You guys are scaring me, actually, because now when you text me, I see how fast you expect them back.
No,
Yeah.
That's right. I texted you right now.
Yeah.
Burrito time.
Get on that.
Quickly.
13 seconds. That's all you've got, Tom.
I'm like a day later sometimes. Like, I mean, I'm busy.
So a day?
I'm going to say like a day.
All right, 1 day.
Yeah.
Or 24 hours?
Sure.
They're approximately
Usually
the
about
same.
the
Yeah,
same.
yeah.
That's the number one answer. Calling
What
it.
kind of
good.
clarification is this?
That is the number 1 answer.
Baby!
Thank you, Mandy.
Hey, at least it was only one time. At Essen, it was like 5 times I
That's
got the
true.
number
It
one.
did make me,
So,
it
you know,
did restore
I'm
my
improving.
faith a little bit that that's what people
Right?
want.
I'm improving.
It's 10 minutes garbage. All right. Who are we at now? Crystal.
So I actually had an answer that I was worried about being number 1, but now I am safely going to say 1 hour.
1 hour is the number 3 answer.
Good job.
Yeah.
Is that really like an hour? But I don't even sometimes see the text right away. I've gotten like 6 during this show. I'm not answering them.
One was from Suzanne.
Yeah. I'm testing you.
Was it really?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, we're doing an experiment live on stage.
2 minutes.
You made it.
Actually, I don't respond either. I read it. That was it.
Right.
I'm gonna ruminate on my answer.
She's going to see that little red notification. She's going to be like, he saw it. He's not answering me.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
but now with
read at
the watch, I can
3:42
just glance
PM.
at it. It doesn't show you I read it. All right. Anyway. Yes.
But who was I texting? Was it my mother? Was it my girlfriend?
Uber
Was it-
Eats.
Was it Tom Vassell?
Ooh.
5 minutes.
I thought it was going to say like
That's
6
your
days.
answer?
Yes.
Yeah. No. 5
You
minutes.
should get back to me fast.
All right, Nick.
All right, everyone's so. I feel like some people are reasonable and don't expect people to text like that quick. So I'm gonna go 2 fortnights.
Like the video game? Like the time it takes to play 2 Fortnite matches? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So 1 month.
So a
basically.
month.
Yes. How long's a
All right.
fortnight?
So Abraham Lincoln. Not on the list. Mike.
I think that's a good guess.
Okay, we all do this.
1 fortnight.
We all tell the great lie when we forget to respond to something. We say, oh, hey, I just saw this. Sorry about that. It's been 1 week since the text. 1 week. You
It's
gotta
been-
lie about not seeing it.
1 week is on the list. Number 2 answer. 9 points.
Jeez, that's insane. A whole week.
Oh, hey, man, I haven't checked my phone in a week. Sorry about that. What's up?
So the times were 4 hours, then 12 hours, then 15 minutes, then 3 hours. Then a lot of people wrote, it depends.
It does
On
depend.
who texted me?
Right.
Or
It
I'm
depends.
texting.
No joke.
There was actually one very disturbing answer, like if they don't respond within 15 minutes, I'm calling. I'm like, all right, never mind. Then 3 days, then 2 days, then 1 hour, 1 week, 24 hours. Jason, I want to know who won. You can use this mic.
Yeah, that's right. Go away. Go away.
It's more fun grabbing C's mic. Okay. Anyway.
Notice he's also holding my hand, by the way.
Just like the Beatles here. Okay. Anyway, the final scores is Team ZSCN, the Z team, with 58 points, and Team EMSM, the Eric team, with 60 points.
Hooray! I baked these specially for you.
Are you kidding me?
Tom lies.
Isn't there one more question?
It only has to be one person on your team.
It was
Nick.
Suzanne.
Nick Murphy.
That's what she said.
I've had this stuff. It is spicy.
You want to do it?
What do I gotta do?
You want me to do it?
A spoonful.
I want you to do it because I saw
Sure,
you
we'll
do it
both
last
do it.
night.
Makes you cry a whole bunch.
But we have a single spoon, I think.
Okay.
Alrighty,
Hey,
so why?
Jason, come over here and cup your hands. in
Why
front of
they
me.
are? Why?
No.
While they are figuring out how to open that bottle, once again, we'd like to thank Mr. Bonicle for sponsoring the show. And Pete Shirey from Come On Games gave us all those comic books to hand out. So those are from him. And everyone here, there's people behind the scenes. Roy Canada's back there. He put all that PowerPoint stuff together for you. And the Vassal girls handed out stuff to everybody, and lots of people, everyone here on the panel. Have you got it open yet? I'm dragging here.
I need a spoon. I need
It's
another.
attached to the bottle.
I know, but we're both going to do it.
I only have one spoon.
Pour some in the cap.
Let me grab some.
There you go. Yeah, I'll pour some in the cap.
There's no cooties here you could share.
Oh, there's cooties all over in here.
You okay with that much?
I don't know, am I?
You're gonna do it simultaneously.
This is a lot of horseradish.
Is this particularly hot?
Look, we have about the same,
can
okay?
smell it from
You
here.
ready?
3, 2, 1.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, well, I'm sure. Wait for it. Yeah.
Give it a minute.
Suzanne is tough. Z is a wimp.
God, I can smell it from here.
She's crying on the inside.
Right? It's good, man.
I do it again.
I will.
That's what they call St. Elmo's fire.
No, wait,
Alrighty.
Come on.
wait.
Come on.
So I have literally not eaten like
Oh, I got it. It's
all
okay.
day.
You're doing
And
it
I can
again?
feel it hitting my stomach.
I haven't had that yet, so I'm going to go again.
This is how Z feels alive.
Oh, no, that one really, there was something in that one that wasn't in the first one. Oh!
All right, Eric.
I'm done.
All right, folks. Thanks so much for coming. I'm Tom Vassal.
Oh, I'm Nick Murphy of the Brothers Murph.
I'm Crystal Pisano.
Z Garcia, hi.
Mandy Hutchinson.
Stephen Bonacore. Mike Murphy.
And I'm Eric Summerock.
And Jason Levine, the
And
gaming
you've been
machine.
watching the Dice Tower.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Promotional consideration has been provided by game publishers in the form of review copies of games. This episode, number 618, was recorded in front of a live convention audience on August 2nd, 2019. Mandy and Suzanne join you next week, and in 2 weeks, Tom and I run through our top 10 7-player games. For real this time. This podcast is sponsored by listeners like you. Thank you for your continued support. And speaking of support, the Jack Vassal Memorial Fund is dedicated to providing support to members of the board gaming community in their hour of need. If a catastrophic event has become more than you can handle, find out how we can help at jackvassal.org. The Dice Tower is produced by Tom, Mandy, Suzanne, and Eric, with assistance from Rob Searing, Chris Barr, and Roy Kennedy. Our 10 clones of Mr. Garcia provided by 11Z.
Yes.
Timothy Pinkham composed our theme, and hosting is provided by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games at great prices at coolstuffinc.com. Let us know what you think of the show by posting to the Dice Tower Guild at BoardGameGeek.com, following the Dice Tower on Twitter, or by emailing us at dicetower@gmail.com. And don't forget to visit the other shows in the Dice Tower Network. Find your next favorite at dicetowernetwork.com. Until next time, from all the gang at the Dice Tower, have fun gaming!